December 1941. The world's most advanced tank force, German panzers, abandoned by the thousands because engineers never installed engine heaters. Tiger tanks that couldn't start below freezing. Half-tracks with tracks too narrow for snow. Trucks with oil that turned to cement. This isn't about vehicles that lost battles. This is about engineering failures that lost an entire war. T-26 light tank. The T-26 was a Soviet light tank equipped with a 45mm main gun and thin armor, derived from British designs and mass-produced for infantry support. It entered service in the early 1932nd to modernize the Red Army's mechanized forces amid rapid industrialization and perceived threats from neighboring states. In the dense Finnish forests and snow-covered terrain, these tanks often stuck to narrow roads, becoming easy targets for Finnish ski troops, using mines and Molotov cocktails, leading to heavy losses in ambushes. This vehicle existed in the war to provide mobile firepower against lighter opposition, but its narrow tracks and vulnerability to cold weather immobilization highlighted the Red Army's underestimation of guerrilla tactics in sub-zero environments, contributing to initial Soviet humiliations. BT-7 fast tank. The BT-7 was a wheeled-tracked cavalry tank designed for high-speed maneuvers, armed with a 45mm gun and capable of road speeds up to 45 miles per hour without tracks. Introduced in the mid-1930s, it aimed to exploit breakthroughs in open terrain as part of the Soviet deep battle doctrine. During advances into Finland, the deep snow bogged down its wheels, while frozen engines and mechanical failures from the extreme cold stranded units, exposing them to encirclement and destruction by mobile Finnish forces. It mattered by demonstrating how speed-oriented designs faltered in restrictive winter landscapes, forcing the Soviets to rethink armored tactics, and ultimately influencing reforms that strengthened their forces for later conflicts. Armored ski sled. The armored ski sled was a makeshift Soviet vehicle consisting of metal-plated sleds towed by tanks or trucks, intended to transport infantry rapidly over snow. Deployed experimentally in late 1939, it arose from urgent needs to adapt mechanized assaults to Finland's snowy expanses without sufficient specialized equipment. In practice, these sleds offered minimal protection and often overturned or detached in rough terrain, leaving soldiers vulnerable to Finnish fire and contributing to disastrous casualties in failed offensives. This improvisation existed due to the Red Army's lack of winter mobility solutions, underscoring broader logistical shortcomings that prolonged the conflict and embarrassed Soviet leadership. Panzer III. The Panzer III was a medium tank with a 50mm gun and sloped armor, serving as the backbone of German panzer divisions for combined arms operations. It entered service in the late 1932nd to counter enemy armor in blitzkrieg tactics, emphasizing speed and coordination. On the frozen Russian steppes, narrow tracks caused it to sink into snowdrifts, while lubricants thickened in the sub-zero temperatures, seizing engines and halting advances toward Moscow. Its failures in winter conditions existed because German planners anticipated a swift summer campaign, revealing overconfidence that stalled the offensive and allowed Soviet counterattacks, marking a turning point in the war's momentum. Panzer IV. The Panzer IV was a versatile medium tank, initially armed with a short 75mm howitzer for infantry support, later upgraded for anti-tank roles. Adopted in the mid-1930s, it filled the need for a reliable workhorse in expanding panzer forces amid rearmament. In the brutal 1941 winter, its underpowered engines struggled to start in freezing weather, and inadequate winter kits led to widespread breakdowns, stranding divisions, and exacerbating supply shortages. This tank's vulnerabilities in the Russian cold stemmed from the invasion's rush timeline, which ignored seasonal risks, ultimately weakening German spearheads and contributing to the survival of key Soviet defenses. SD, KFZ, 251 half-track. The SD, KFZ, 251 was an armored personnel carrier with tracked rear and wheeled front, designed to transport troops alongside tanks in mobile warfare. Introduced in the late 1930s, It supported the Wehrmacht's emphasis on mechanized infantry integration for rapid encirclements. During the Eastern Front winter, snow clogged its open tracks, and wheels froze solid, rendering it immobile and turning motorized units into static vulnerabilities against Soviet partisans and counteroffensives. It existed in this war to enable blitzkrieg's fluidity, but its failure in snow highlighted the limits of German engineering against harsh climates, forcing reliance on foot marches that eroded combat effectiveness. Opel Blitz Truck. The Opel Blitz was a standard medium truck used for logistics, capable of carrying troops or supplies with a robust chassis for varied terrains. It entered widespread service in the 1930 seconds as part of Germany's motorized build-up to sustain fast-moving armies. In the Russian winter, batteries drained rapidly in the cold, fuel lines froze, and tires lost traction on icy roads, causing massive delays in delivering essentials to frontline troops. This vehicle's breakdowns occurred because the invasion plan discounted prolonged operations into winter, amplifying starvation and frostbite among soldiers, which undermined the entire campaign's sustainability. L3/35 tankette. The L3/35 was a light tankette armed with machine guns, compact and inexpensive for colonial policing and reconnaissance. It joined Italian forces in the early 1930 seconds to bolster mechanization on a budget amid economic constraints. Deployed to the Eastern Front, its thin tracks and open-top design failed miserably in deep snow, often burying itself or succumbing to engine seizures, leaving Italian divisions without armored support during retreats. Existing in the war due to Italy's alliance commitments and limited industrial capacity, its inadequacy in Russian winters exposed the fragility of Axis coalitions, hastening the collapse of Italian formations and straining German resources. Panther tank. The Panther was a medium tank with a powerful 75mm gun and thick sloped armor, developed as a response to Soviet T-34 seconds. It entered service in 1943 to regain armored superiority through advanced design and firepower. In the snowy Ardennes forests during the 1944 offensive, mechanical unreliability worsened in the cold, with transmissions failing and fuel shortages stranding units, preventing breakthroughs. This tank's winter struggles arose from rushed production and over-complex engineering in a desperate late-war gamble, illustrating how even superior weapons could falter under environmental and logistical pressures, dooming the final German push. Tiger II heavy tank. The Tiger II, or King Tiger, was a massive heavy tank, boasting an 88mm gun and heavy frontal armor for breakthrough roles. Introduced in 1944, it addressed the need for unstoppable assault vehicles against fortified Allied lines. During the Battle of the Bulge, its immense weight bogged it down in mud and snow, while fuel consumption and breakdowns in freezing conditions limited its range, leading to abandonments and captures. It existed in the war as a symbol of German technological defiance amid declining fortunes, but its failures in winter terrain emphasized the mismatch between ambition and reality, sealing the offensive's collapse. These vehicles, from light tanks to heavy behemoths, collectively revealed how winter warfare demanded more than mechanical prowess. It required adaptation to nature's unforgiving demands. In campaigns like the Winter War and the Eastern Front, failures in mobility and reliability turned offensive momentum into defensive desperation, allowing outnumbered forces to exploit environmental advantages. The broader conflict evolved as a result, with doctrines shifting toward winter-specific preparations, broader tracks, and simplified logistics that influenced post-war military designs. Terrain and season became as critical as strategy, reminding that no army conquers without respecting the battlefield's harshest elements. Ultimately, these mechanical breakdowns underscored a timeless truth. In the crucible of winter, preparation triumphs over power, shaping outcomes that echoed through the war's decisive turns.